From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm David Augustine. Liberal leader Mark Carney has asked Governor-General Mary Simon to dissolve Parliament and call a federal election for April 28th.
After being Prime Minister for a little more than a week, Carney is asking Canadians for a strong mandate to deal with President Donald Trump's tariff threats. He's kicked off his campaign by pledging to cut the marginal tax rate on the lowest bracket by 1 percentage point. If he held out just a day longer before calling the election, Parliament would have revved back up, with the opposition parties expected to vote down his government shortly after. Instead, now he's flying to the East Coast for a rally tonight in St. John's, Newfoundland. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Now, before the election call, Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre spoke to reporters, saying he plans to restore the promise of Canada and to tackle affordability issues that he blames on elites.
These out-of-touch Liberals inflated housing costs, drove up the cost of food, pushed 2 million people to food banks, unleashed crime on our streets, ruined our immigration system.
And his comments come as NDP leader Jagmeet Singh kicked off his campaign in Ottawa, where he said both Carney and Poilievre are out of touch with the concerns of the working class.
The folks without multi-million-dollar portfolios, without blind trusts or hedge funds, the people who earn their living by showing up to work, who dream of owning a home, raising a family, and retiring with a modest pension, they're being abandoned.
And Green Party co-leaders Jonathan Pedneau and Elizabeth May launched their campaign today in Montreal, saying Canada is up against some of its biggest challenges the country has ever faced, pointing to climate change and the threats of the United States and President Donald Trump. While Hudson's Bay says liquidation sales are set to start tomorrow as the company looks to close all but 6 of its stores. The retailer received approval last week to begin selling off inventory at the bulk of its 80 stores, as well as 3 Saks Fifth Avenue stores and 13 Saks Off 5th locations. A new study suggests Naloxone kits placed at public transit locations across Metro Vancouver could improve coverage and efficiency when it comes to preventing drug overdoses.
Lead author of the study, Benjamin Leung, says he carries a naloxone kit in his backpack in case he encounters an opioid overdose, but he admits it's as practical as carrying a fire extinguisher in case of a fire. Instead, he says health authorities should be more strategic about where they make naloxone kits publicly available. The paper says kits placed at public transit locations offer the greatest coverage. Rob Westgate, The Canadian Press.
And a number of food dips distributed in British Columbia and Alberta have been recalled for containing peanuts not declared in the label. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says 10 kinds of Habibi's Mediterranean dips have been tested and contain peanuts, as well as reported reactions from eating the products. The recall covers 9 hummus products, as well as 1 baba ganoush eggplant dip. Those who are allergic to peanuts are warned not to consume the dips and to discard or return the products. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Natalie Spooner's second period goal proved to be the winner as the Toronto Scepters edged the Montreal Victoire 2-1 this afternoon. Toronto earned a second straight win and moved into second in the Professional Women's Hockey League standings, 3 points behind Montreal. The Victoire have dropped a season-high 3 straight contests. Ernie Clement scored the winning run on a wild pitch as the Toronto Blue Jays robbed the Pittsburgh Pirates 2-1 in Dunedin, Florida. Clement put Toronto ahead 2-0 in the third inning when he scored on Pittsburgh starter Bailey Falter's wild pitch. Toronto will kick off their regular season campaign against the Baltimore Orioles on Thursday. The Toronto Raptors are home to the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Toronto is looking to snap a 3-game losing streak, but the Spurs come in having won their last 2 contests. And Canada and the U.S. play for third place in a CONCACAF Nations League men's soccer match at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Canada lost 2-0 to Mexico on Thursday in its semifinal contest. Meanwhile, Panama beat the U.S. 1-0 in the other semifinal. From the Canadian Press, I'm David Augustine.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.